All right, everyone, welcome back. We have another edition of WCW Nitro. There was a note I'm going to show you. I'll probably throw it up here on editing before we start. But there seemed to be some sort of butting of heads between the Gravekeeper, Mark Calloway, and Sting, in which they were both furious at each other. So, I mean, a bit unfortunate, but nothing too bad came of it. Hopefully, our storyline still works out. But let's get going with the show. First up here, we have the Righteous versus the Von Erichs, and the Righteous pick up the win. Let's see. Yeah, they all do well as a team. Oh, and I forgot. I'll show you after the thing. But Booker T is now, like I mentioned before, is now officially a part of the company, and I've put him on commentary. But I'll show you all that later. So the crowd were turned off by having a match outside of the pre-show that they didn't have any interest in, with the workers. Uh, Poor way to start the show. How unfortunate. Crowd heat at the end of that was simmering. Wrestling did a 38. Crowd was a 28. Segment did a 28. So here we have the Righteous picking up the win over the Von Erichs. Just a little bit more of the Dark Ministry sort of gaining a foothold here in WCW. Next promo here. Britt Baker. Hold on. It says, I hate that it keeps saying interview even though I picked promo. Whatever. Yeah, cutting a promo. So here's Britt Baker. She says, she'll give Shotzi her women's title match. She guesses that she can at least do that, but she's not really all that afraid. And she's going to put her title on the line later on tonight in a match against Shotzi. So crowd heat at the end of that was simmering. Our segment rating did a 67. Britt Baker did good, being able to go off script and just make up her own thing on the fly. So there we go. That's setting up a match for later on tonight. Britt Baker versus Shotzi Blackheart for the WCW Women's title. And here we are. We have the match right away. Decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling, and it came out to a draw, following a double count out. Short match. They both ended up fighting on the outside of on the ring apron, all around on the outside. Neither one of them able to make it back in before the ref's 10 count, so they both got counted out. Shotzi seemed off her game, and Britt was in extremely poor form. That is unfortunate. Crowd heat at the end of that was simmering. Wrestling got a 45. Our crowd got a 48. And segment got a 50. And here we go. Again, promo, not interview. But it was a good promo. Sting was mentioned. He was off screen, This is Mark Calloway, the Gravekeeper, talking about, they got rid of Sting at Arcade, and now WCW is his to do with as he pleases. Him and his Dark Ministry are going to begin the takeover of WCW. Good. The angle got the crowd hotter. Hot and rising. Segment did a 70. That's a lot more of what I expected from him. I'm like, whatever he did, what was it, last week? Yeah, that was not good, but this doing a lot better. Maybe it's because they butted heads that he really had some type of passion in his promo. Moving on. We got a tag team match. Trish Stratus and Natalya going against Carmella and Toni Storm. Decent match. Trish and Natalya pick up the win here. Oh, we see some reds down here. Carmella was off her game. Lifting the crowd didn't achieve much as they were already pretty hot. Well, whatever. The crowd heat at the end of that was hot. Wrestling did a 54. Crowd did a 53. Our segment did a 56. And this, alright, not the best, but decent tag match here from the women. Next up, another tag match. Shelton Benjamin and Cash Wheeler going against the Wrecking Crew. Decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling. Shelton and Cash pick up the win here. Cash Wheeler pinned JTG, of course. JTG was the weak link. Commentary lifted the match. Crowd heat at the end of that was hot, so that's alright. Wrestling was a 48. Crowd did a 44. And our segment did a 54. About average. Backstage now, we have featured attraction here being interviewed by JoJo Offerman. And Adam Copeland seems like he needs a script. Oh boy. Alright. But Christian improvised well throughout the segment. Basically, they're just putting themselves over here. You know, they're there with their tag team titles, saying they're the best that the tag team division has to offer here in WCW. And now that they got the belts back, they plan on keeping them for a while. So crowd heat at the end of that was white hot. I like that. Segment rating did a 67. Let's continue. Backstage. Here, these guys again, basically arguing with each other. Still, getting in each other's faces and trying to claim the best in wrestling, best in the world title here. And eventually it leads to a brawl amongst the four of them before they are all separated and go about their separate ways. Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. used subtle mannerisms to hint at a future face turn. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment did a 68. So things, tensions continue bubbling and brewing here amongst these four, which will eventually lead to a matchup amongst them. Next, Eric Bischoff comes out and he announces in 3 weeks' time another WCW pay-per-view. Or I guess still the PLE, since I have them, I created the WCW network. But Bischoff here announces WCW Resistance and kind of goes down all the storylines, all the beef that's going on in WCW, and just kind of sets up. Doesn't really announce many matches, but he does say, we'll see a lot of these people in action in some way, shape, or form at WCW Resistance. 3 weeks' time. Crowd heat, very hot. Segment rating did a 65. Good job, Eazy-E. Next up, 4-way match between Joe Hendry, EC3, Chris Masters, and Austin Theory. Decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling. Austin Theory picks up the win here. Wow, kind of surprised. This is, again, another one of those matches where I let the road agents decide the winner, and Theory coming out on top. Crowd heat at the end was very hot. Wrestling was a 46. Crowd was a 42. And segment of 45. Joe Hendry still has that groundswell of public support. Commentary is doing great. EC3 was off his game here. Oh well, not much to do about that except hope that he'll improve as time goes on. Backstage, Nick Nemeth runs into Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe basically tells him, I heard what you said last week, and I don't shy away from anyone. I'll defend my title, and he holds up the U.S. title. I'll defend my title against anyone. But my problem here is, he's like, I don't really feel that you've really done anything to deserve a title shot. Sure, you won that little battle royal at Starrcade, but that's nothing. You still You got to prove to me that you deserve a title shot. Nick Nemeth says he's willing to do whatever. He'll take on whoever, and he's fully intends on taking that U.S. title off of Samoa Joe. Joe says that's perfect. Then I guess you can have a match tonight, and you'll face off against Sheamus. See what you can do there. So that was a good 5-minute interview. Both men did well without having a script. And a potential face turn for Nick was hinted there. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment did a 72. Very happy with that. And then here we have Sheamus and Brian Pillman Jr. They're running into each other backstage. Brian Pillman, still antagonizing Sheamus, still, poking and prodding him around, trying to get the best of him. Sheamus says, look, boyo, I understand you're looking for a fight, and I like that about you, believe that or not. Any other time, I would take up your offer to continue beating you down, but I've got other plans tonight. He kind of roughly walks by Brian Pillman Jr., little shoulder check there, and says, I'll see you later. I got a match tonight. Maybe next week. And then leaves Brian Pillman Jr. just standing there fuming. So the crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment did a 62. And we have our matchup. Sheamus versus Nick. Good heat and decent wrestling. Nick picks up the win over Sheamus when Sheamus was distracted by Brian Pillman Jr. So, Brian Pillman runs out there, starts, getting in Sheamus's face again, which allows Nick to take advantage and hit Sheamus with the danger zone. Sheamus was in amazing form, as always. Really happy with the work he's been putting in. We're going to have to reward that sooner than later. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Wrestling was a 60. Crowd was a 59. Segment did a 66 overall. Very happy with the work these two put in, especially Sheamus. MJF here at the top of the card once again. And this time, he's still putting himself over, still calling himself the best in the world. And as further proof, he once again points out that he is the WCW heavyweight champion. He briefly mentions, the other four, Omega, Styles, Zack Sabre Jr., and Jay White, and kind of has a little laugh about them claiming to be the best while they're all just fighting with each other and nothing else comes of it. So MJF with a good 5-minute interview. Well, it was a promo. Good 5-minute promo. Crowd heat at the end of that was very hot. Segment rating did a 70. So very happy with that. Good job for MJF. Let's finish the show. Maybe. Possible. There we go. Again, lost popularity in 11 regions, but we increased in 33. Overall rating for the card tonight was a 65. Oof, yeah, that one was our low point. But, very nice. Mostly, who was this with the 45? Oh, the match with Austin Theory and them. But overall, decent card. Not bad. Alright, let's finish the show here. And no, we don't care about financials or the popularity recap. Well, actually, yeah, I want to see, where did we lose? Ooh, back in our... We gained in all of these. Okay, so not much going on in Canada. We gained in India, Japan, all throughout Europe. Over in England we did well. I'm assuming this is more of Japan. But yeah, back home in the States, not doing so well. We're going to have to do something to improve that. All right. All right. Let's check out the headlines here. Anything interesting? Let's see what happened on Raw. Drew McIntyre, once again the star of the show. Oh, Rhea Ripley, once again the women's world champion. Good for her. What happened? Oh, feedback from the viewers was that it was great. It's drawn a lot of praise. Good, good, good. Very happy about that. Yuvia has been injured. Few months for her. Oh, that's too bad for her. Matt Cardona is on loan. Who is he? Oh, from TNT. Being loaned out from GCW to go to TNT. Alright, let's check the mail. Kylie Ray is back. I think she was out on injury, I think. I don't know. She's back. Bret Hart has opinions. Dutch is clumsy. I'd cut him loose before someone gets seriously hurt. Bret Hart. I'm not surprised Bret at all has opinions on people who are clumsy and who might injure others, but I'm sorry if we're not letting go of Dutch, Bret, so I don't know. Hopefully you're just wrong. Drug testing, yeah, blah. 4.9 on viewers. Good, good, good. That's an increase over the last one. Happy about that. Alright. Nothing else. Let's move on to the next day's headlines. Alright. Before we get to the headlines and any mail, I know I already mentioned it before, but I also did say I would show you and elaborate a little bit more. So, on commentary for the events, we now have Booker T, Jonathan Coachman, and Michael Cole. Same thing for Monday Nitros. That is our announced team. And over on Thunder is where we left Joey Styles. So, there we are. Just wanted to show you guys that. Alright, on to the headlines. Let's see if there's anything. The AAA step away from the NWA. I'm not surprised. The NWA is part of my, what is it called? My alliance. And so it's us, WCW, my child company, Power Plant Wrestling, and the NWA. We haven't had any trades or done any cross promotions yet, and I haven't made a belt for them yet, but we'll get to that in the future. Obafemi came up with a catchphrase that really stuck with the audience. Good, good, good. Yeah, there's further tensions. Yeah. Don't worry, NWA, we got your back. Never heard of DPW, but Metallic got hired by them. Good for them. The Block is formed on Black Label Pro. Haven't heard of those people, but alright, good for them. Alright, let's check the mail. Adam Scher has returned. Good, good, good. Daniel Spencer has left TNA. Is that a guy I hired? Let's see. Let's take a look at Daniel Spencer. I don't remember. Oh, one of my referees that worked with multiple people. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So now I only share him with Revolver. That's fine. Good, good, good. Nothing else of interest to note here. So let's go on to Thursday. Alright, so here we are back. Thursday Nitro. Once again, we're going to let Otto Booker do its thing there. Let's see what's happening. Don't know who Pat Buck is, but him and John Silver having problems. How unfortunate. Swerve Strickland, once again the AEW World Champion. Good for him. Good for him. How did last night's Dynamite do? Drawn a lot of praise. It was great. Takashita was the MVP of the show. Good for him. Santino Marella, promoted in TNA. He's a locker room leader. Good. Good for him. Really happy for him. Let's see what happened at my child company. It was excellent. It went down really well. And Austin Aries was the star of the show. Good. Really happy for him. Let's see what's going on here. Alright. What else is happening? Ultimo Dragon and Justin Liger are bonding. That's cool. YouTube Mexico get MLW Fusion. Oops, Cedric Alexander injured. He'll only be out for a few weeks. Broken fingers, ouch. Josh Barnett joins WWE. And he's going to go to NXT to begin with, of course. AEW rejection. Willow Nightingale may be out of her on her way out. Willow Nightingale, do we hire her? No, I don't think so. I've got a pretty stacked roster already I got to do more with, so unfortunately we have nothing for Willow at the moment. Thekla Rising, that's another one that I've recently hired, so I'm glad that she's on her way up. Good, good, good. Lots of good things coming out there. What? Big Swole and Marco Stunt bonding, huh? That's funny. Who's this guy? Malik Blade. To re-sign with NXT. Nope, don't have nothing for him. Julius Creed, of course. Yeah, I knew he was going to stay there. Let's see what the mail holds. Just a house show. Alright, not bad. Alright, let's get to Thunder. Well, locker room incidences. Let's see if anything happened here. Charlie Dempsey has an idea. Good. Maybe we'll use that. Priscilla Kelly. Nice, nice, nice. Formerly, I believe, Gigi Dolan. Alright, she got an idea. Okay, we'll put that to use. William Regal passing on tips to his protege, Samoa Joe. Nice. Carmella and Su Yung getting along well backstage. Very good. Okay. This is weird considering that Sting and Mark Calloway butted heads, but now Vincent and Sting have bonded. I wonder the music over their shared love of the music of Cole Porter. I've never even heard of that guy. That's crazy. I wonder if this is going to affect the storyline, the savior of WCW that we have going. Weird, weird, weird things happening. Is that it? Nope. Here we are. Mark Calloway been hanging out with Hammerstone recently. Okay. They seem to be getting along. Okay. Who knows? Maybe we'll have something for Hammerstone. Maybe a new age version of the Acolytes. Him and somebody else can join the Dark Ministry. Okay, we'll have to keep that in mind. Gail Kim, the head women's trainer, doing things with her students. Kurt Angle, the head men's trainer, running drills and stuff with his students. That's good. Alright, that was that. We are not going to address the locker room tonight. Let's let Otto Booker do its thing. Minus the title matches. Never title matches on Thunder. Start the show. Kyle O'Reilly picking up the win. Okay, good. Interview with Christian Cage. Wow, this time he did poor when trying to improvise dialogue, when before he did really well. That's crazy. Okay. Julia Hart versus Tony Storm. Tony picking up the win. Adam Scherr with an interview. He didn't do well off script. Sting didn't do well off script. That's crazy. Video package on Theory and Keith Lee. Okay. Don't know what that's about, but alright. Oh, okay, that's why, because they're going to have a match now. And they had a decent match, and Theory picking up the win after the A-Town down. Alright, so good for these guys getting TV time and practicing there. Christian Cage versus Ron Killings. And Christian picks up the win after the kill switch. I bet that was a funny and good match. Nick over Shane. Oh my god, Shane O'Mac out there. Hendry versus Jay White. And Hendry, wow, Hendry picking up the win. Okay. Adam Scherr versus Sting. And Adam picking up the win. Good thing this is just a B show. Nothing really matters here. This is all just for shits and giggles. Let's finish that off. Alright, let's see what happened here. A different Nemeth in the headlines. And now he's fighting with women. Okay. Oh, Charlie Haas has returned. I thought he was going to be gone a lot longer from rehab, but he's back. Okay. Nice, nice. So that's something we'll have to... I wonder when Dax is coming back. I'm glad to have Charlie Haas back. Very good. We'll have to work something there since his old partner Shelton is running around with Cash Wheeler right now. I thought Dax would be back long before Charlie Haas did, but okay. I guess he did better in rehab. Good for him. Yeah, Thunder was decent. Hardly anything spectacular. It's just a B show. That's okay. TNA Impact was excellent. MVP was Sami Callihan. Oh, let's see. Gene Snitsky retiring. I didn't even know he was still active in the business, both in game and in real life. But alright. But he is going to retire. Oh, and that reminds me, I forgot Stone Cold is retiring. We got to do something with him. Okay. Alright. Giselle and Savannah, the new Knockout World Tag Team Champions over in TNA. Let's see. They did extend the deal with that guy. Okay. Charlie Haas is back. That's crazy. I still can't believe that. Because when I last checked, he still had months and months to go before he came back. I guess that's wasn't true at all. Alright. Drug test, whatever. Opinion from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Julia Hart is a star in the making. She could make us some serious money in the future. Keep that in mind. Thank you, Stone Cold. Not much else. Alright, let's move on to Saturday. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got going on. What happened on SmackDown? Cody Rhodes, star of the show. Other than that, rumor Stokely Hathaway gonna be staying with AEW. Eva Marie on hiatus. Okay. Yeah, not much else going on. Let's check. That's just a house show. We don't care. House shows, do your thing. Alright, let's move on to Sunday. Alright, let's see. Lots of headlines. Let's see if anything is worth of note to us. Booking issues. CMLL. Nah. Mr. Aguilar. Did that used to be S.A. Rios, I think? Well, now he's on steroids. Anyways, Collision. How did Collision do? MVP of the show was Adam Page. Rightfully so. Lots of shows on last night. AEW extension rumor. Who is this? Melissa Santos. Don't believe I've heard of her. No. Alright, let's move on to Monday for the last of the headlines before the episode ends. Alright, here we are. What a weird headline, just BJW. Oh, okay, because they don't have a name for the show. Alright. I'm not seeing anything that stands out. Powerhouse Hobbs out of AEW? We might have to try for that. Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, if they're not going to offer him, I mean, it's currently unconfirmed, but usually these things. Confirmed to be leaving. Alright, let's give him an exclusive. Make that offer. Alright. Can't pass that up. I mean, especially if they're not going to try and re-sign him, that's fine. Elton Prince. Yes, boy. We're going to try. I doubt that he's going to accept. I'm sure he wants to stay with WWE. But let's give him a try anyways. If he says he's got a better offer, he means WWE, and that's where he's going to stay. Yep, and he's got a better offer. So we're just going to not even try that. What's this? Danny B. Haven't heard of you, so sorry. Never heard of him or her. Alright, everyone, so there we have it. That was the Monday Nitro show, and then the week after headlines and news and mail calls. So lots of interesting things happen there. Thank you again. I really appreciate everyone. If you happen to like any of the content here, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment maybe something. It really helps the channel grow. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again next time.